Hello guys, let's move on with a quick certification questions or knowledge recap on whatever the services we have learned till now. Okay, what is the service used for archiving purpose? In AWS, what is the service that is used? What is the storage service that is used for storing archival storage? What is the storage storage service that is used for archival storage? What is the service? It's a Glacier. What is that? Glacier. Glacier is a service which I use from AWS to store my archival storage. Okay. If I want to store infrequent access of my data, if I want to store, if I want to store data that is infrequently accessed, that is infrequent access to my storage. I want to store a data, but I want to access the data infrequently. I want to store a storage data, but I want to access the data infrequently. Then, which is the storage service best fits for me? Glacier. What is that? It's Glacier service. So let's move on with another service. Another question. Till now, in previous videos, you have also have a good idea on database. Let's have a quick recap or certification questions which are possible till now what we have learned on databases. Let us see those. Okay. By using which service in AWS? By using which service in AWS? By using which service in AWS? Can I access? Can I access? A final question on storage services. By using which service on AWS can I access the storage? The storage services of AWS. By using which service on AWS can I access the storage services on AWS? What are the storage services we have? We have S3, we have EBS, we have Glacier, we have EFS, we have FSX. These are the storage services till now we have learned. So, okay, by using which service can I access these storage services of AWS to my company? That means to my on-premises company. By using which services can I access these and form hybrid storage and can able to form hybrid storage? So this is very important question, and many times in certification this question was asked. By using which service in AWS can I able to access the storage services from AWS and use them in my on-premises company, and I can able to form these combinations as hybrid storage as well. What is the service? Storage gateway. What is that? Storage gateway. It is a service which is provided by AWS where you can access that storage service from AWS and you can able to use it in your on-premise. Okay, let's move on with database questions. What is RDS? What is RDS database engines? Okay, what is the SQL? What is the SQL database? What is the SQL? Or else we can say RDBMS database engines providing service. engines providing service in AWS. What is the SQL or RDBMS database engines providing service in AWS? So whenever you found SQL or RDBMS databases, then what is the service that you need to use? You need to use RDS. What is that? RDS. What does this RDS stands for, sir? RDS stands for Relational Database Service. Relational Database Service. Okay. So what is the RDS database engines provided by AWS? What is the RDBMS database engines providing service in AWS? That is RDS only. What is the SQL database providing service in AWS? That is also RDS only. Sir, what about this NoSQL service providing? What about NoSQL? For NoSQL, database providing services, what do we call that? Databasing providing services which are providing me NoSQL. What is the NoSQL database engines providing services we call in AWS? We call that service as DynamoDB. What do we call? We call that service as DynamoDB. So let's have another question. Is RDS is service or server? Is RDS is a service? Is RDS is a service or server? RDS is a service. It's not a server. RDS is a service. It's not a server. Okay, let's move on with another question, that is, what are the RDS supporting database engines? What are the RDS supporting database engines? RDS supports mainly 6 types of databases. You can remember them by using a simple abbreviation, that is MOM PMA. What does this first M indicates? It is MySQL. What does this second O indicates? It represents Oracle. What does another M indicates? That is MS SQL. What does next P indicates? That is PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL. Okay. Then what about, okay, what about the another M indicates? The another M indicates MariaDB. What is that? MariaDB. Okay. What does the last A indicates? That is Aurora. What is that? Aurora. Okay. Let's have another question. What is the RDS database that is provided by AWS? What is the RDS database? What is the RDS database engine that is provided by AWS? What is the RDS database that is provided by AWS? What is the RDS database that is provided by AWS? That is Aurora. Aurora is the service that is provided by whom? Aurora is the database engine that is provided by whom? AWS. Okay, let's have another question. Does AWS provides database moving service? Does AWS provides database moving service? Yes, the answer is yes. AWS provides database moving service. What is that service? What is that database moving service? What is that database moving service? We call that in AWS. In AWS, what is the database moving service? That is DMS. What is the full form of it, sir? It is database migration service. Database migration service. What is that? Database migration service. So let's move on with another question, that is, What is the NoSQL engine providing service in AWS? What is the NoSQL engine? What is the NoSQL engines providing service in AWS? What is the NoSQL engine providing services? Providing service in AWS. That is DynamoDB. I hope you answered these. So let's have another question. Which will give you a quick response? That is MySQL or NoSQL? Which will provide you a quick response? SQL database engines or NoSQL database engines? The answer is NoSQL database engines. What is the answer? NoSQL database engines. So let's move on with another question. Let me remove the spaces so that much more space will get, and let me write the questions there. So till now 12 questions is completed. Let's move on with 13th question. Who is responsible to manage this RDS and DynamoDB? Who is responsible to manage this RDS and DynamoDB? Who is responsible, sir? Service provider. Who? AWS. Who is the service provider? AWS. So let's move on with another question. What are the services in AWS? What are the services in AWS that provides us caching memory for databases? What are the services? What are the services in AWS that provides us the cache memory, that provides the cache memory for database servers? Elastic cache. What is that? Elastic cache. If anybody asks you, is there any service in AWS where it will provide you cache memory for your databases, then what is your answer? Elastic cache. Okay. Do I call this elastic cache as in-memory cache? Yes. Do I call this elastic cache as in-memory cache? The answer is yes. You can call this as in-memory cache because it is storing in memory only. So that's why I call that as in-memory cache. So what are the elastic cache engines provided by AWS? What are the elastic cache engines provided by AWS? What are the elastic cache engines which are provided by AWS? It provides us mainly two elastic cache engines. Those are Redis as well as memcached. What is that? Memcached. Memcached. So these are the two elastic cache engines which are provided by AWS. Okay, let's have final question. What is the data warehouse? What is the data warehouse service provided by AWS? What is the data warehouse? What is the data warehouse service provided by AWS? What is the data warehouse service provided by AWS? AWS provides Redshift. What is that? Redshift as data warehouse service in AWS. So I hope you answered all these database questions and a storage question on Glacier as well as how to transfer, what is the service that we're going to use in AWS to form the hybrid storage by using the cloud-based storages, by using public storage as well as private storage from the company. That's what storage gateway. So I hope you answered all these questions and you have a good knowledge recap from this video, and you found useful certification questions from this video. So I hope this video is understanding to you and it will provide you some knowledge. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.